So we are AAH Pharmaceuticals, although I think a lot of folk in here probably know us as previously once Lloyd's Pharmacy, so once one of the same business. We are the UK's largest distributor of healthcare products. So we deliver to about 20,000 customers every day, and we do that twice a day. So we're a big logistics business. We've got about 30,000 products that we sell, and that's mainly to pharmacies and to hospitals and doctors. And about 60%-ish of the medicines that anyone in this room take at some point start in an AAH depot. So that's something that we're really proud of, we take really seriously. And yeah, we're, I think, and hopefully others will recognise, an important part of supporting the NHS in the UK.
And then maybe just a little bit about your role there?
Yeah, so my role, I've been with AAH for 7 years. I've done a whole load of different jobs in that time across a couple of our companies, but at the moment my role focuses on making it easier for our customers to do business with us, and that is a little bit cliche because no one in here wants to make it difficult for our customers, but we look at our processes, our ways of working, our technology platforms to really understand how do we engage with customers in a way that's more meaningful to them, and how do we transact with them in the way that they want to transact using great everyday pricing and rebates that really drive business.
And just a little bit about you personally. I've had the pleasure to get to know you very well and dinner and everything. You are expecting twins, your first children in January.
I am, so I've got twins on the way in January, so this is my last little tour of being in a few nights out, I think it's fair to say. So no, that's very kind. Thank you very much.
And you live locally, right?
Yeah, see, Jerry likes to point out that I can commute back and forward, but I've stayed in a hotel this evening, so I could have a night away, but
Even if you're 10 minutes away, come on.
Yeah, well, I'm here to help.
Let's talk a little bit about AAH and the landscape in terms of rebates and dealing with customers and incentives. Go back, let's call it a couple of years.
Yeah, sure. So we have, I think it's fair to say, quite a diverse range of rebates in our business. So we not only take in rebates from our suppliers, but we pay out rebates to our customers as well. And that takes the form of about £2 to £3 million per month going out to customers, and about 25 to 30 million coming back in. So we have a large rebate P&L. I think it's been recognised a few times over the importance of rebate to your P&L. Well, it's exceptionally important to ours, and we use that rebate mechanism to really support pharmacies and hospitals that we all go into every day. But it's fair to say we've been on a journey, and I think that journey, Jerry's still going on. So we've been around for 100 years. Our ERP is pretty much the same age as that as well, and we have over the years just built little bits and pieces to help fix problems. So a problem comes up, we pay somebody, they built a little program, and off we went. Another problem comes up, and I'm sure lots of us in here have done the same thing, and we ended up with 7 or 8 different mechanisms and rebate calculators, all trying to do the work that we now do through Enable. And we've been on a real journey. So I think we were part of a European business. We were spun out to be a UK business 2 years ago, and that gave us the chance to really refresh our thinking. So we're able to look and say, actually, rebate, rather than being, I think you mentioned it this morning, about being like a cost of doing business, rather than it being a cost of doing business and something that we have to do, how do we view that as an investment? How do we really take rebates and use it to drive different behaviour? We've done a couple of things, and we've partnered with Enable, and that's been very successful with us, but we've created lots of new jobs as a result of that. So we have really leaned into how do we double or treble the amount of rebate that we give. So we've got Dips in the audience. I'd really recommend you speaking to Dips. Dips does a role that traditionally would be a rebate administrator, which is putting deals in and taking deals out. Well, Dips is actually a business partner, so he goes out and works with our sales teams and with our procurement teams to help them understand how can we really drive rebate rather than just giving it away. How do we use it to drive behaviour? And we had some customers out for dinner last Wednesday, similar to how you guys do, and we asked them all in a room to explain your current AAH deal. and about 50% of the room couldn't explain the deal that they had at the moment. And for us, that's still a real indicator that we've still got a little bit of work to do to make sure that, I'm not sure who I'm quoting here, but somebody mentioned that a discount is forgotten and a rebate is earned. We've still got a little bit of work to do to make sure that people appreciate the value of rebates, but I think we're getting there.
That's an interesting point. Your 50% of your customers couldn't explain it, so how could they take advantage of it? Yet, when we speak, you share with me that rebates in general are getting more complex. They're getting harder. So how do you take more complex rebates and agreements, make it simpler, and then make it a win-win for your customer and you?
Sure. So we firmly, one of our, as I said at the start, our real underlying motto is to make it easier to do business with us, and our customers just want us to do a couple of things. They want us to turn up on time, in full, with the products they ordered, at the price they paid, and when they have a rebate, they want us to pay it on time. And I think we've really tried to put the mantra to allowing our sales teams to be entrepreneurial, because I think that's really important. We employ our sales teams to be entrepreneurs, but to put in enough guidance and guide rails that stops it becoming out of control. So a big part of, as I said, Dips's role is to really business partner on what's possible. And actually, when we have complex rebates, it's how do we help articulate to the customer what that rebate is. So we partner with a lot of other technology businesses, one of them being Salesforce, and we use that to take the great information coming out of Enable and really share it with our customers in a meaningful way to them, whether that be through the website or via WhatsApp or whatever works for them, to help them understand what do they need to do tomorrow that will change their rebate outcome. So if they are near a tier, the worst thing for us, and I heard a few manufacturers say this morning, is we hope they don't come and ask for the rebate because it sits in our P&L. The big thing for us is we want to give rebate away. We want to be really clear and transparent. And what we don't want to do, Jerry, is somebody miss a tier by £10. That is a horrendous customer experience for us. So we really go out our way to help drive customers through the tiers. We do that primarily through our website.
Were you doing that before, or had you want to do it? Did you always do it? Do you do it?
Yeah, so we certainly couldn't do it before, because you think when you have 7 or 8 different platforms, none of those platforms spoke to each other. Yeah, so what we had was 7 or 8 pots of money that the customer just got at the end of the month. Nobody could really articulate why they got them, and we were never really brave enough to take them away, to be quite honest. I think somebody mentioned earlier on that somebody set up the rebate and they left and we just kept paying it. So we've been on a journey to say, actually, not only how do we take apart these legacy systems and how do we drive performance through rebate, but actually is there rebate out there that's just not effective? So we've been on that journey over not only growing rebate in some places. If you look at the profitability of our business, it's improved significantly. We've taken out a good couple of £1 million worth of ineffective rebate, but at the same time growing our volume in the last 2 years 12%. And that comes through taking ineffective rebate and giving it and reinvesting it to customers who really value it. Is that answer?
How did you figure that out? You're spending millions of pounds over here. It's not getting you anything. How did you notify that, and then how did you know to put it somewhere where it would?
Yeah, I think, as I said, we were part of a pan-European business. We had global owners, and with that came a lot of red tape, a lot of committee. I had to have a committee to buy a pack of pens, and therefore, we've all been there. It was very difficult to affect change, and I think a couple of years ago when we were spun out, myself and a few of the other senior leadership team had the opportunity to say, this has been something that's been niggling us for many years, and we think we could do it better, and we just now need to crack on and get on with it. And I think we've had to be bold. So we've had to go to some customers and say, we don't think the rebate's working, it's going away. And we've had to go to some other customers and say, actually, we want to put even more rebate in than you currently get today. So I think it's been bold and been really clear. And we've invested, as I said, we've invested in people. Our Enable journey started with me, and very quickly as became 4 of us in the room today. So we've really leaned into how do we use this platform to grow our business.
Yeah, a lot of great info. Does anyone in the audience have a question about what Mike has said so far? Hi, I'll hustle this over. Sean's sleeping on the job. I'll do it.
So you mentioned you were spun out and it gave you an opportunity to completely rethink. And one of the things that has been mentioned previously is about being siloed. So I'd be really interested to understand, within your business, who was involved in the conversation about how do we rethink this and what do we want our strategies to be going forward?
Yeah, so for us, I think one of the things we've done was rebate in our business was typically a finance function. So a salesperson would have been out, they would have cut a deal for whatever, they would have given it to an administrator, they'd put it into our rebate tools, and then we'd pay it at the end of the month. And we never really retrospectively looked at it, and our finance colleagues didn't necessarily have the context of what was going on the ground. So one of the things we've done a couple of years ago was say actually rebates and discounts and pricing, that's not a finance function, that's a commercial function. So we almost created a new little team that sat in the middle between sales and finance, and we became, I suppose, a friendly critic to our sales team. And finance, in a respectful way, are somewhat there to mark our homework. And that's the way that we do it. And I think, to answer your question direct, how did we decide the strategy? We led from what we wanted our customers to tell us. So rather than creating rebate schemes, which we liked, we went out and spoke to our customers and understood what are the sort of rebate schemes that you think you would like. And that meant we got rid of some schemes, and that was difficult because we'd spent a lot of money and a lot of branding on doing some of these legacy things, and we had to find new ways of working.
Ask your customer what they want. Funny how that works.
It's not rocket science, is it? Yeah, but it's a good point, because we had 20 years of inventing stuff that customers didn't want, and we're all guilty of it. We'd spent a lot of time creating programs to help pharmacies be more profitable, or tell them how to lay out their shop, or tell them the best way to interact with a patient. And the reality is, what customers want from us is those four things: on time, in full, at the right place, and the right price. So we really pivoted from being value add, in the sense of telling folk how to run their business, let pharmacies run their business, and we'll just be there to be a really great wholesaler. And I think, just one final point to build, I think it's important. We went probably 18 months ago to visit one of the largest pharmacy chains in the UK, and they told us, in our markets, got a lot of competition. There's 4 or 5 big wholesalers, there's about 20 little wholesalers, and the customer's only feedback to us was, he said, Michael, there's a gap in the market for a really good wholesaler. And that was almost a light bulb moment again for us to say, what our pharmacies want is just to be a great wholesaler, don't be anything more than that, and our rebate strategy clearly plays a big part in that.
How did you, suddenly, you said you had a light moment when you were speaking to him, but how did you suddenly decide as a team, let's go speak to the largest chain and let's see what they have to say, because things aren't working?
Yeah, so my role and my boss, both of us joined the business in very junior roles. Yeah, so both of us joined as entry-level sales roles, going around pharmacies trying to sell products, and we've came through the business over the last number of years, but that has given us a confidence that says the customer is always right, and that is a cliche comment, right? But not many businesses do it very well. So we are, I like to think, on our way to being a truly customer-led business, and that comes from going to speak to our customers. And you don't always hear what you want to hear, do you? So we last week went to meet with customers because we were thinking of launching a large-scale loyalty program, and very quickly, within 10 seconds, I was hit with a wall of, please don't waste your time and effort doing that. And it takes a lot of guts to be able to say, okay, we'll walk away from it and we'll focus on something else.
Wow. Creating these customer-focused programs, right? They have to, making it simpler for you, but it has to come with risk and complexity internally for you. To make it simple for your customer, you still have a lot of complexity and risk. How do you manage that? How do you see that coming? How do you identify and how do you address it?
Yeah, so we use that through a combination of technology. So clearly Enable helps us do that, and we really look at the data every day. So we walk into our business every morning knowing how much rebate have we accrued for the month in terms of to be paid out and to come back in, and we really look to understand where is that going to go. As a customer likely to miss? Is there a chance that we might calculate it wrong? Are we all comfortable? And we have a forum every Monday where rebate is a topic. Yeah, so rebate on a Monday, we discuss it amongst the board every Monday, our rebate performance. It's a critical part for us, and really make sure. And we also talk about how many customers missed and how many customers hit. So we really, and that's a key metric for us. So a good result is not customers missing target. A good result is customers hitting target, and we hold our sales teams to account, and my team is held to account on what are you doing to drive that performance. But as you scale, there is just an inherent risk, right? And we want our teams to focus on value creation, not on doing calculations themselves. So I think the more we've really leaned into enable. It's been an experience and a journey for both of us, I think. But as I said, it's helped remove the risk. I don't think we'll ever remove the risk completely, and that comes back to 50% of our customers don't even know what the rebate agreement is. Yeah, and until we have that at 100%, there will always be an inherent risk in our rebate portfolio.
How did you get the board's focus? I hear from a lot of customers, rebates is a huge number, it's a huge problem, but it's like hidden in the dark room. Someone talked about a dark room accounting somewhere last night at dinner, like hidden in a dark room. It's a big number, but no one wants to seem to bring it up. But you got the board to focus on it every Monday and track it and assign it, the success of it to you. So how did that come about?
So we view our profitability as a real end-to-end piece. So there's the pricing that you give, and obviously the guy spoke earlier on about how much pricing can really impact your profitability. But rebate makes up for us a significant amount of our cash flow. 25 to 30 million pounds per month we do through special pricing agreements, and you only have to get that wrong once, and we can't afford to make payroll. So for us, we are significantly invested in making sure that we not only claim correctly and that we claim on time, but that money comes in. And the board, therefore, is inherently keen to understand our performance of that. And I think we've been able to really move the dial over our business performance. So I said we go in every Monday. We talk about rebate. We are owned by a private equity business, and private equity loves nothing more than generating cash. And let's be honest, the more cash that we're able to generate, particularly on the special pricing, the more that they get really excited by. And I think we should look to celebrate success with our colleagues. Naz, James, and Dips have done a great job in the last 2 years of taking, as I said, nearly £2 million of ineffective rebate out of our business to drive more volume elsewhere, and that's benefit straight to the bottom line. And on a business that makes around about 70 million profit, that's a big percentage to be grown by.
Yeah. You talked about engaging with your sales teams and making sure that they put the customer first. Most sales reps from almost every company I speak with, they come and they say, I need this little change, or the customer needs this, I need to change this. Customizations, right? To the system, to the rebate program, to the contract, everything. How do you balance that, making it, everything standardized to make sure you're in compliance, you're utilizing, you're analyzing correctly, versus I need to be customized for this one agreement customer deal.
Yeah. Before we came here, I asked Naz the question that he probably died inside when I asked him, but I asked him, how many rebate agreements roughly do we have, and how many different permutations of product and rebate do we have every month? And we think about 18,000 different rebates a month, but we've got nearly 1 million product permutations within that. So we just have an inherent complexity in that. But we also, what I said, we want to employ salespeople who are entrepreneurial. We do not want a team of salespeople going around just reading from a flyer, here's what it could be. And therefore, what we do is we allow them to be entrepreneurial. As I said, Dips supports them in that, and then we have a really rigorous checking process. So once a month, my team gets together with the senior leaders in sales. We look at every single rebate that we agreed last month, and we look to see, has the customer behaviour changed in month one? Okay, if it's not changed, there's some alarm bells. Let's get out and speak to them. If it's not changed in month 2, okay, we need to do something different. And if it's not changed in month 3, we take it away. And we have a real rigor around making sure that where we deploy rebate, particularly when it's a cash rebate, that generates success quickly. And what we don't do is wait till month 12. So we really try to encourage customers, and it's mainly pharmacies, although some private hospitals, to really aggressively push them through the tiers as quickly as possible.
Did your sales team all adapt to that and buy in quickly, or was it a slow process?
I mean, it's been a journey, Jerry, I think, to be fair, and I don't think that journey's finished, so I wouldn't want to be up here pretending like we're smashing it every month. You know, there's still work to be done, but I think our results probably speak for themselves that we're on the right path. You know, what our sales teams want to do is have great relationships, and they want to have them in the way that they want to have them and talk about the things they want to talk about. And, you know, our role and my team's role is just to help steer and guide. Yeah, so we want to employ people who are free thinkers, and we're just there to help them. But it's been a cultural change. I think particularly, you know, nobody wants to go to a customer and have bad news, do they? You know, we're all great at going in and talking positives, but when it's not so positive, some people shy away from that, and that's where it's tough, right? So if you agree a rebate with a customer and that rebate clearly isn't working, well, we need to go back in and renegotiate, and you need to do it quickly. And sometimes I'll go and support, sometimes some of the team will go support, but that's a journey. You know, that's a journey that I think we're on.
Back to the audience. Is there a question? Don't move, Sean. I'll do it. Hey, Chris. How are you?
Not bad. Thanks, Jerry. You talked about sharing the progress of the deals with the sales team and clearly using Salesforce CRM by what you said that. But this every Monday meeting with the exec, what tool set are you using for the dashboard where you've got that overview?
So we combine that with a combination of tools and reports coming out of Enable, and some updates that particularly Naz leads on. So we look at what's the rebate that's been generated month to date. We look at how many deals did we put into Enable last month and the performance of those deals over time. And then we go back 1, 2, and 3 months. So every Monday, as an exec team, we're reviewing the performance of every deal. And we're really looking at, has the volume changed? Has the margin changed? And sometimes we put rebates in as a defensive mechanism. So sometimes it's perfectly acceptable to put a rebate in and the margin doesn't change and the volume doesn't change, but it protects business. And that's where we bring our sales team in to really give us the context. So on the face of it, you know, we've offered a deal and nothing's changed. To me, that's a bad deal on the face of it. However, if it's protected business and it's protected market share, or it's protected a key customer, that could be the best deal in the world. And that's where our sales teams are part of that round table on a Monday.
Does the audience have another question? We got a second mic. I don't know where it's been this whole time, but...
Bit of a cheeky question. Would Enable service these other wholesalers, and might then find his competitors have got the same weapons? So how would you, I mean, business is business, so you wouldn't necessarily be upset with Enable, but do you think your expertise in Enable would then still keep you ahead, even if they were using same sort of tools?
That's a great question, isn't it? That's a great question.
I didn't get that. Am I the cheeky person? Wow. Okay. You answer first.
Do you know, I would not have any issue with Enable going in and selling their product to all of our competitors. And the reason for that is Enable complements our business. You know, Enable isn't our business. You know, so we use Enable to support our growth, but at its core, you know, Enable doesn't deliver the products, it doesn't own our brand. You know, for us, Enable is a great tool to support our business. And, you know, if our competitors were to put it in, you know, fine. You know, I think we've got a good enough pedigree and a good enough ways of working that we can rise above anything like that. But I'll let you maybe answer that question.
There's no business that I've seen where the IP The IP and why they are different is how they focus on their customer, how they go to market, how they create programs, how they simplify and make things easy for their customer. And our tool helps them do that. Just like they have an HR tool, just like they have a pricing and shipping tool. All right? It's not our tool that's the IP. It's how they utilize it. Any other cheeky questions? I like that, cheeky. We talked a lot about efficiencies over the last week, and at dinner last night too. We talked a lot about efficiencies. And you said you saw a lot by simplifying, using tools. Were there any that were surprises to you, where you gained efficiencies, or maybe lost them, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the, I think I told a few other customers this, is one of the, within about 20 minutes of putting the enable in, we uncovered that we'd been doing a calculation wrong for the last 10 years. Yeah, and that was, and that nearly made us more efficient because I nearly lost my job. But, that was, that was obviously a nice little win. But, it's made us more efficient and that we don't spend a lot of time double and treble calculating things. So, if you go back to the disjointed world that we operated in before, and we still do a little bit, not only did we pay somebody to calculate the rebate, we then paid 2 more people to check that person's work, and we spent a lot of time disputing if it was right and if it was wrong. And I think Mark might have mentioned it to you, that in the legacy world, the value of our rebates was largely determined by the person that done the calculation. Yeah, and that's not a great way to work, right? So I think in having a tool to support us, backed up by really great thinkers, we have been able to streamline our efficiencies, but not remove the human touch. Yeah, so Enable hasn't replaced people; it's just complemented the work that they do.
Mike, and thank you again. I have time for a couple questions in the audience. I'm going to come back to you with one last question. I just want to give you a chance. And my question would be around when you start looking at the future. Now you have a good baseline in place. What is it, technology and non-technology, that continues to, deliver the product on time at the right price to your customer to help you continue to make those goals on Monday? Okay, so let me come back with a final question in that. Mike's a wealth of information. He will be around. I know he'll be at the bar. But if you do have a couple last questions here, I'm happy to take them now. Going once?
Hi there.
Alan.
So I have a problem in my business where the sales guys struggle to keep up with the complexity. Do you find it's the customers driving the complexity or the salespeople? And with that, how have you managed to keep that under control so it still adds value?
Yeah, so I think our market demands have probably driven some of that complexity. So when we talk about customers, traditionally we think about our downstream pharmacy and hospitals, but actually our manufacturers can choose where they put their business. So to us, a manufacturer is just as much a customer as a traditional downstream customer. So we've had to be a little bit more innovative in how we service their needs as well as our customers and our downstream customers, and they've driven a little bit of complexity. And I think in terms of how do you manage that, we have a really structured workflow that helps our sales teams create deals. So we don't allow our teams loose on the tool live. We guide them through a nice little form that tells them it's somewhat idiot-proof, for want of a better phrase. And then that's where our teams that sit in the centre take that and then put it into Enable. It gives us a little bit of control to make sure that someone doesn't type 100 instead of 10. And it lets and the form means that no one's out selling a deal that we just fundamentally can't do. Yeah.
Just to ask a personal opinion, technology, team, processes, collaboration, how do you kind of see your future and making sure you focus on those 4 things and continuing to make your margin?
Yeah, I mean, look, if I said for us, technology is about complementing our colleagues, not replacing them. And we see, particularly as we've deployed more sort of SaaS-based tools over the last 2 years, the more that we can take real, live, accurate, one version of the truth data and give it to our teams and almost at real time, the better decisions we can make. Not necessarily data-driven decisions, but just the better decisions where we can make choices and we can pivot the business based on a full view of our customer and a full view of our profitability. And I think, from an Enable perspective, the wealth of data within there, Andrew touched on it a little bit. How do we surface all that amazing data and insight to a user to make a human decision based on the data that's sitting within there?
Very cool. Mike, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.